If you're looking to dominate Warzone on mouse and keyboard in ways that feel almost illegal, this is the video you've been waiting for. Yo! I've scoured every single guide, best settings, movement tech, aim drills, hidden tricks, pro binds, sensitivity sweet spots, and smashed them into one unlimited mega guide.
Damn, bro.
Whether you're converting over from console, hard stuck bronze and ranked, or even an iridescent demon, we're dropping tons of knowledge and instantly usable hacks in this video. So let's crank up that KD ratio and lock in on mouse and keyboard.
Let's go.
First off, your sensitivity as well as DPI is not a one-size-fits-all thing. You will have to play around with settings and go through some trial and error before getting it perfect. I know it sounds like a lot, but don't worry. I have over 10 years of experience experimenting with sensitivity, and by the end of this video, hopefully you too will have absorbed enough information to lock in on the perfect settings. Stay tuned till the end so that you don't miss out on any of these important settings. So before we get to your in-game sense, let's talk about DPI. You can think of your DPI as your mouse's sensitivity. This usually is adjusted in your mouse software settings or with a button at the very top of your mouse. I'm currently using the Finalmouse Prophecy Tfue edition, so this is where I change my DPI. It'll depend on exactly what mouse you have. DPI should be set to what feels most comfortable for you when using your PC for general use like browsing the internet or social media. Some common DPI settings that most gamers use are 400, 800, 1600, and sometimes 3200. You don't have to stick with these, but they are the most common. 400 will feel the slowest and 3200 will feel the fastest. If you're new to mouse and keyboard, then I'd recommend to start with either 400 or 800. I personally use 800 because it's what I feel the most comfortable with. Remember that changing your DPI will also affect your in-game sensitivity. Let's say you play on a 5.0 in-game sensitivity, but you'd like to double your DPI from 400 to 800. After doubling your DPI, you'd have to cut your in-game sense from the 5.0 down to 2.5. This would keep your exact same sensitivity in-game, then you can tweak your in-game sense from there. Next, let's jump into Warzone settings. I'll start by showing you my personal settings, which are a 4.8 in-game sense with a 0.9 ADS sense. I use 120 FOV, which really helps to see as much of the map as possible on your screen and not miss out on valuable info during the match. Another setting that is extremely important is your ADS sensitivity type, which can be set to relative or legacy. Relative will automatically make your ADS sense lower than your hipfire sense, depending on what monitor distance coefficient you use. I personally use a 1.33, but many other people use 1.78 when playing on monitors with a 16:9 aspect ratio. The reason I use 1.33 is because it's what I have the most history and muscle memory with, so I'd recommend keeping this setting to whatever you've spent the most time on. On the other hand, legacy ADS type will make your hipfire sense the exact same as your ADS sense, which can help with muscle memory, but also make it harder to make those micro adjustments while aiming down sights. You can lower your ADS sense or custom sense per zoom to help with this if you'd like. You don't have to worry about the monitor distance coefficient setting if you choose legacy, because you fully control your ADS sensitivity this way. I see many people making the mistake of starting out with a sensitivity that is way too high. I know a super high sense can feel good at first, but making the micro adjustments while aiming will be a lot less forgiving. I recommend to start lower and work your way up slowly to really lock in on what feels best for you. I'm curious as to what sensitivity and DPI you are currently using. Drop a comment down below and let me know. Your gear can also play a big factor in your ability to adjust your sensitivity. Let's say you play on a smaller desk without much room. You will likely have to keep your sensitivity higher so that your mouse isn't constantly running off the pad. Try to give yourself as much room as possible so that you don't feel restricted on your movement while playing. This is why I use the huge Saturn Pro XXL mousepad to give myself as much freedom to move as possible. This way I'm able to aim with my whole arm swiping across the desk instead of just my wrist. When aiming with your arm and wrist, you maximize the amount of muscles you have engaged while aiming. This leads to pinpoint accuracy over time through muscle memory. As far as your mouse goes, try to keep it under 75 grams, which will help you to stay consistent and not fatigue while gaming. Always remember that changing your sensitivity can take some time to get used to. If you're really struggling with your aim, then I'd highly recommend lowering your sensitivity and giving that a try first. Don't make the mistake of changing too frequently and not giving yourself enough time to fully adjust. Try to give yourself at least a week to adjust and build some muscle memory before deciding if you found the perfect sensitivity or not. Let's talk about your mouse grip. There are 3 main different types of ways to grip your mouse: palm, claw, and fingertip. Palm is the most relaxed and natural grip, but not really the best for aiming. Claw is probably the most popular and excellent for tracking your targets. Claw grip is also the one that I use myself. Last is fingertip grip, which a lot of times requires a small mouse specifically made for fingertip grip. It's also really good for aiming and might be worth a try if you don't like claw gripping. Creating your loadout as a mouse and keyboard player can be a little different than the mainstream things you see. I always recommend to either have a sniper or shotty on your loadout. Both of these are great for flick shots, which is a big strength for mouse and keyboard. The shotguns are pretty bad right now, so maybe stick to snipers like the HDR or the Kar 98.
Skadoosh. Oh, got a little chowler.
Another loadout tip is to run smoke grenades in the tracker perk. Smokes will disable aim assist when fighting controller players, giving you the upper hand. Then when you throw the tracker perk in with smokes, you can basically aim by your enemies while they're dead in the water with no aim assist.
Oh shit on me, holy.
Staying calm in gunfights and not over squeezing your mouse is also extremely important. If you tense up in sticky situations, then your aim won't be as precise as you'd like. This is much easier said than done, but it comes with practice and playing the game. A trick I've always heard that's helped me is to think about your mouse as an egg. Grip it with enough pressure so that it's not loose and floating around, but also not so tight that it breaks. Focusing on this alone will drastically improve your aim. Let's talk about your keybinds for crouching and sliding. A huge problem that I've had in the past is dead slides. I'm sure you've been in a gunfight and tried sliding around a corner just to crouch in place instead of sliding, leaving you as a sitting duck. To prevent this from ever happening again, you can set separate keybinds for crouching and sliding. This way you will never crouch when intending to slide. I use X as my crouch key and left control as my slide key. You can try these or use keys that feel the most comfortable for you. Omni movement has been a huge game changer for Black Ops 6, but without the correct settings, you won't be able to take full advantage of it. What I'm talking about here is tactical sprint assist. Without this enabled, it'll be much harder to quickly slide in any direction. When enabling tactical sprint assist, you'll be able to use only 2 keys to quickly slide in any direction. This basically bypasses having to press shift to sprint, then hitting your slide key. Tactical sprint assist paired with a dedicated slide keybind will make a huge difference in your movement abilities.
Boom!
Verdansk is full of buildings that are super easy to bunker down in, which leads to players camping rooftops and high ground often. No hate to these guys, but if you run into someone who's holding high ground, remember that there are always jump spots around the map that'll help prevent you from running through an expected path, like a stairway that's getting pre-aimed and booby-trapped with mines.
Hit him with that secret jump, boy.
Parachuting around the map might sound like a pretty basic thing to do, but there's actually a technique to it. If you see players being able to make jumps from buildings to building that seem impossible, it's because they are diving right before pulling their parachute. This lets you go much further than just jumping before pulling your parachute. Practice a few times and you'll have it down packed in no time at all. The next movement tip is kind of difficult to learn, but it definitely pays off once you master it. Spamming your crouch key while in a close range gunfight is the perfect way to throw your enemy off and even break aim assist if your enemy is on controller. It seems pretty easy at first, but the hard part about it is keeping your aim straight while spamming crouch. I still struggle with this one sometimes, but practice makes perfect. Remember that movement is very important when it comes to winning gunfights, but ultimately you do have to shoot straight at the end of the day. So don't get too fancy with the movement and only do what's necessary. Throwing knives is a great way to full kills quickly because it saves ammo in your weapon weapon, which leads to less getting caught off guard while reloading.
Right here.
Kind of good.
Hunt them down. Get escort to the safe zone. Leave no one.
Stay aware of your map positioning and try to minimize getting shot in the back as much as possible. Don't hesitate to use up your gas mask when necessary. I see way too many players trying to save their gas mask for too long and end up not being able to use it at all.
I got a gas mask, fools. What a silly boy.
Remember, you can always back up to reload, plate up, and reset a fight when things get sticky.
Not gonna happen, buddy.
Got an extra valuable opportunity.
All right, plate up. Now we reach out.
Kill me if you like boys.
Y'all are
Still operational in the AO.
still silly. Squad wipe, stupid.
Too many players down an enemy and go to full the kill too quickly. Try to keep it in your mind to wait on fulling those kills. Stick and move.
Hostile UAV in the area. Remain in operation from that squad. Hunt them down.
I can't do anything.
Always keep your crosshair centered around corners to minimize the distance you have to adjust your aim in order to be on target. Always look at your minimap after getting a kill because you get one UAV ping to see where the enemy teammates are.
Alright, over to my syntax.
Remain in operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
Always remember to utilize hip firing when fighting close range to best track your enemy.
Holy.
Seat swapping is a great way to throw off your enemies, but make sure you actually swap seats before leaning out to shoot, because if you just lean out of the driver's seat, your sensitivity will be slowed down by the game.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Well, well, well. That's why you don't camp.
Only the pros know about this trophy trick.
Oof. Shoot the trophy one time, that way you don't accidentally pick it up whenever you're trying to get in the car. Little pro tip.
You know they have specialists when that smoke pops after downing someone.
You didn't grab it? Why? Why didn't he grab his loadout? Oh, can't grab it now. Oh, did he have Speci? He had Speci.
And don't forget, specialists can come from care packages as well.
Oh, Speci. There's a Speci in that thing. Seen it tingle. Oof. Oh, oh, snap. We moving different now, boy.
Don't underestimate the heartbeat sensor.
What a fucking check. Damn, bro. I've never seen a better camper strat in my life. Holy. Bro had the setup in here. Bro had the whole setup. That would have actually got me.
Fighting close quarters on mouse and keyboard is always tough when going up against aim assist. Hip firing those wannabe movement demons can help greatly with tracking your target.
Bro didn't even hit me once. You didn't even hit me once, bro. What's your problem?
Smokes disable aim assist, which is music to my ears as a mouse and keyboard player. Knowing this definitely saved me in this 1v3.
Yep, get wrecked. Squad wipe, get out the game.
A lot of people make the mistake of reviving their teammate too quickly. Always finish the fight before getting yourself killed trying to revive.
Let's see what's up with Chemical over here.
Ooh,
Do that.
street.
We'll hop up. It's at the end right here.
Straight ahead.
Just rest. People everywhere though.
Yeah, he's above me. Pushing.
Bink. Bink.
Oh, another one, another one.
Bink.
When fighting a full team, always remember to never stop moving.
About to end. Make it count.
Give me a bunker buster.
Yeah.
It's cracked.
Upstairs.
Oh, he's wanting.
Is still in there with you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Put a bunker buster on it. And I hit nothing.
What?
Supply boxes.
Get out the corner, boys.
Try to think of things you do in your enemy's position in order to read them like a book and secure the team wipe.
See one here. I'm gonna land on a screen ping.
Target location.
Yeah, down the buy station. Knocked. Knocked. One left. Team is cracked. Now we read them like a book.
Flying on fumes. UAV returning to base.
Boom, like a book. Late games are always intense, but stay calm and utilize the gas to catch your enemies off guard and secure the dub.
Teammate Heady by the shack watching you guys. Yeah, yellow pings. Oh, you gotta get a get. There you go.
Holy.
Advise you head to the safe zone. You've got a lot of ground to cover.
Get that fool out. PA'd.
Got him.
Are they on our left? Yep.
Yeah, I think they're just down.
Let's go.
There's a short ladder above headquarters that almost always catches enemies off guard.
Oh, that's ass.
Bottom prison. Get out of here, buddy. Are they above us or some shit? Gotta be, huh?
I have no idea. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yep. Grandma's. Dude, I can't compete with these guys. I just cannot. Shall I kill the one
I hit
grandma's
this little
or no?
secret hop up. No.
I got one, but I think prison got me. Found a prison.
What's the red skin for ranked?
secret hop up works. Controlling recoil in Warzone from mouse and keyboard. Not enough people talk about this, and there are very few videos out there on this specific topic. So recoil is the upward and sideways movement of a weapon when firing. Mouse and keyboard offers precise control but requires practice and intentional techniques. Mastering recoil control will greatly improve your accuracy, especially with medium to long range engagements, and ultimately help you to secure more kills and dubs. Get them out. Each Warzone weapon has a unique recoil pattern. The patterns aren't the exact same every time, kinda like Counter-Strike, but close enough that you can learn to adjust accordingly. What I do before using a weapon, or even after changing my build, is to go in the firing range and learn the recoil pattern. You can toggle down this wall in the firing range to easily see and learn the pattern. Let's look at the LC-10 for example. If we just fire the weapon and don't pull down the mouse at all, we can see the recoil going up and to the right and then shifting to the left. Now that we know this, we can pull down in the opposite direction of this pattern and even time the switch from upward right recoil to upward left recoil. This is easily done in the firing range, but applying it to in-game scenarios is a little more difficult. To practice this in-game, just stay mindful of what you're doing and get those reps in.
Yep, not today, man.
Next, let's talk about loadouts, then we'll hop into settings. Creating loadouts and weapon builds on mouse and keyboard can be a little different than the usual meta builds. The mistake I see lots of MnK players make is trying to run iron sight builds. I'm not saying it's impossible because there are some clean iron sights out there, but most of the time an optic will benefit more than you think. The first reason is for the visual clarity you get with an optic. An optic allows you to see each side of an enemy as well as above and below them. This will allow you to have the best visual on your enemy and allow you to track them as needed. Now, if there are some iron sight builds that you like, I highly recommend to run a suppressor to help with muzzle flash. Warzone muzzle flash is incredibly bad and will have you basically blind while in a gunfight. I always opt for using attachments like the vertical grip or G grip that help with horizontal recoil. In my experience, it's much easier to control recoil that's mostly vertical than trying to fight horizontal recoil. Ultimately, try to build your loadouts with the least recoil possible, but if you have to sacrifice a recoil attachment for something like a movement attachment, try to only give up your vertical recoil attachment and keep the horizontal.
Oh my goodness.
Now that we've talked about patterns and loadouts, let's jump into the best settings. The number one settings that will improve your control is the ADS field of view. Make sure this is set to affected and not independent. The difference in these two is that independent will zoom in more when you ADS, which some people think helps to see the enemy, but at the same time, it'll feel like you have an insane amount of recoil because of the zoom in. Affected, on the other hand, stays zoomed out a little more when aiming down sights. With this comes a significant feel of recoil reduction. The same principle applies to regular FOV. I always recommend a 120 FOV for MnK players for that reason. 120 FOV not only gives you max visibility of your surroundings, but also gives you that same recoil reduction feeling from being zoomed out more.
Get out the window, buddy.
Ooh.
Not being able to see your enemy while shooting. There's so much muzzle flash, weapon bob, and visual clutter, which of course doesn't affect roller players with aim assist as much. But don't worry, we can counter this with one simple technique. When tracking an enemy close to medium range, you can start with a hip fire, aim down sights, then go back to hip fire and basically spam your right click. This helps to keep full visibility and ultimately improve tracking. Attachments like the G grip or Strelic laser push this strategy even further by increasing your hip fire to ADS accuracy.
Jesus.
Now let's jump into compounding strengths or weaknesses. There's plenty of small things to worry about when aiming. Things like your mouse and mousepad, or your grip and posture. You can either stack the odds in your favor or stay blind to the little things and have them stacked against you. Make sure you have the correct mouse that fits your grip, whether it be palm, claw, or fingertip. A mouse pad and desk size big enough to give you maximum freedom of mobility while aiming. Try to keep a straight and consistent posture while gaming. Don't use an MMO mouse for FPS games. Basically stack as many odds in your favor as you can, and it'll be guaranteed your aim improves.
Whoops.
So we can't make an aim improvement video without touching on aim trainers. There's There's a fine line between using aim trainers as a tool to help improve or just wasting time. In my experience, grinding aim trainers like aim labs or Kovacs for hours straight won't necessarily make you better at the game. On the other hand, a couple rounds a day can be beneficial, just don't overdo it. There's no better way to improve than playing the actual game you're wanting to be better at. The main thing I've noticed over time while using an aim trainer is you aren't trying to aim while under pressure like the actual game. The stakes are much higher in game, so naturally you tense up in the gunfights. The more you play the game, the better you can be at staying calm to focus on your target and aim.
Moment demon.
Lastly, we have to remember that all of these things take time. There's no magic sensitivity or brand new mouse that'll have you shooting like Shroud overnight. You have to put in the work and stack the odds in your favor. Pay attention to the small things and give it time. If you learned something new in this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, or even sending to a friend that's looking to improve as well. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the gulag.